Luck. This word awakens the most varied reactions. There are those who believe in it blindly, those who completely discard it, and those who live their entire lives waiting for it without ever understanding where it really comes from. But what if I told you the most powerful luck that exists has nothing to do with lottery numbers, with zodiac signs, or being in the right place at the right time? What if the luckiest person on earth wasn't the richest, the most talented, or the most famous, but was exactly the type of person you can become starting today? Maybe you're going through a phase where luck seems to have forgotten your address. Things didn't turn out as planned. The doors you expected to open remain closed. And sometimes that feeling hits that everyone around you seems to be moving forward while you're still waiting your turn. This pain is real. This exhaustion is legitimate. But there's a perspective about all this that will completely change how you interpret the moment you're living now. What you'll find in this message is a truth the truly lucky know and most people never discover. That life's greatest luck isn't received, it's chosen. And this choice is available to you now, at this exact moment, regardless of where you are or how long you've waited. Stay until the end, because only the luckiest get there, and you're already proving you're one of them. You could be doing 1,000 other things right now, scrolling the feed, watching anything else, ignoring another notification. But you stopped here, at this specific video, at this specific moment in your life, and this didn't happen by chance. There's divine intentionality in this encounter going far beyond what any algorithm can explain. And recognizing this is already the first step of a transformation beginning now. The chosen rarely realize they were chosen at the moment of choosing. Usually this clarity comes later, when they look back and see the invisible thread connecting each detail of the journey. But there are moments when the invitation is so clear, so precise, and so personalized that ignoring it would waste something that doesn't come back. This is one of those moments, and the faith that brought you here is the same that will carry you forward if you let it. Don't underestimate the power of a pause. History is full of people who had their lives completely transformed because they stopped at a moment that seemed small and paid attention to what was being said. You're one of these people, and what you're about to hear was prepared with care that becomes clearer as you advance. But before talking about what's ahead, I need to present you with an idea that will completely change how you see yourself. There's a popular belief that lucky is whoever is born into the right family, wins the lottery, or is in the right place at the right time by pure coincidence. But there's a definition of luck much more powerful, more real, and more transformative than any of these. And it has everything to do with who you choose as journey partner. The luckiest person on earth isn't the one with most money, most talent, or most opportunities. It's the one with God walking beside them, opening doors no resume opens, and preparing paths no human planning can anticipate. When you truly trust in God, not the type of trust appearing only when everything's fine, but that faith holding on even when nothing makes sense, you become the type of person the entire universe conspires in favor of. This isn't pretty self-help speech. It's spiritual reality proven by millennia of stories of ordinary people who lived extraordinary results simply because they decided not to walk alone. You're chosen, and chosen ones who walk with God have access to a category of blessings going far beyond what common luck offers. Being lucky in the divine sense means miracles aren't an exception in your life. They're the natural consequence of faith that doesn't give up. It means when one door closes, another is being prepared. When a plan crumbles, a better plan is being built behind the scenes. And the transformation coming from this understanding changes not just how you face challenges, but how you wake every morning with different expectation about what the day can bring. But to fully understand how blessed you are, you first need to know how much God really sees of your story. There's a part of your story you never told anyone, not for lack of opportunity, but because some pains are so deep words simply don't come close enough to describe them. That silent struggle you waged before sleeping, that prayer you made in the dark without really knowing what you were asking, that tear you swallowed because it wasn't time to cry. God saw all this with a clarity and attention no human being around you could have. You were never invisible to him, not even in your most hidden moments. The faith you maintained during the hardest phases didn't go unnoticed. Every time you chose to continue even without seeing results. Every time you prayed, even without feeling anything. Every time you held on when it would be easier to let go. This was registered with care going beyond any human comprehension. The suffering you carried wasn't waste, wasn't punishment, and wasn't sign of abandonment. It was the process the chosen go through before receiving what God reserved for them. And this process has a weight only those who went through it can truly understand. The Bible's most beautiful miracles happen precisely after moments of greatest suffering. Joseph in dungeons before the palace. Job losing everything before receiving double. Jesus in the tomb before resurrection. It's not coincidence the deepest transformation always comes after the darkest phase, because it's in darkness that roots grow deepest and faith becomes unshakable. And speaking of transformation coming after darkness, there's something God is preparing for you right now, something you still can't see, but that's already in motion. While you read or hear these words, there's movement happening behind the scenes of your life your eyes still can't capture. Doors being unlocked, connections being aligned, resources being directed, and blessings being positioned on the path you'll travel. God doesn't work only when you're praying or when things seem in the right place. He works especially in seasons when everything seems stopped, because it's exactly in these moments the most important preparation is happening. The chosen who understand this stop measuring progress by what they can see and start trusting in what hasn't appeared yet. Miracles rarely arrive the way we imagined. They arrive through an unexpected conversation, through a door opening without you knocking, through a person appearing at the exact time with exactly what you needed. This isn't luck. It's the result of faith that created the right conditions for the supernatural to operate in the natural. And when you start recognizing these everyday miracles, which often go unnoticed because they seem too small, your perspective on entire life changes in a way no therapy or book can produce alone. The transformation God operates in the life of those who trust in Him has a very specific characteristic. It consistently surpasses what the person had imagined as best possible scenario. Not a little better, much better, in a way that makes you realize your dreams were too small compared to what He had planned. You're lucky not because things always work out the way you want, but because whoever is guiding your story has access to information and resources you don't even know exist. And before you see these doors opening, there's something fundamental about moments when it seems nothing is happening that needs to be clarified. One of the cruelest traps existing in the faith journey is interpreting God's silence as rejection, as if the fact a prayer hasn't been answered yet meant it wasn't heard or the answer is no. But there's huge difference between negative and waiting, between closed door and door not yet opened, between delay and abandonment. Each prayer you made that hasn't yet received visible answer is in process, not forgotten, not ignored, not discarded. It's being answered in timing considering variables you still don't have access to see. The faith developing during waiting has a quality faith of immediate result never develops. It's deep, tested, real, and unshakable in a way only time and persistence can produce. Abraham waited decades for the promise of a son. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before being called for the greatest mission of his life. And the disciples waited 3 days in deepest mourning before understanding the plan was much bigger than they imagined. Delay in the chosen's life isn't sign God forgot. It's sign what's being prepared needs more space than originally planned. Being lucky doesn't mean receiving everything fast. It means receiving everything right. At the moment you're genuinely prepared to sustain blessings, wait without it destroying you. Fruit harvested before time doesn't have the flavor it should have, and blessing delivered before necessary preparation can become burden instead of gift. So if you're in a waiting season now, understand delay is part of the promise, and the transformation to come will make complete sense of the wait when it finally arrives. And before we continue, I want to invite you to something very special that will change the atmosphere of what you're living now. The moment has come to stop just hearing about faith and start practicing it right now. Because the transformation you seek doesn't begin when circumstances change. It begins when you decide to change your posture before circumstances. The first prayer is simple and direct. Lord, I trust in you even without understanding everything happening in my life. I believe you have a plan for me, that my wait has purpose, and that miracles I haven't seen yet are already being prepared. Thank you for seeing me, for hearing me, and for never having abandoned me, even on nights when I doubted. Surrender isn't weakness. It's the most courageous act a chosen one can practice, because it means releasing control of what was never truly in your hands. The second prayer goes a level deeper. God, I surrender my plans, my timing, and my need to understand everything before trusting. I surrender the worries I carry alone, the situations I tried to resolve in my own strength, and the fears I didn't let you see. Take what is yours, guide what is mine, and teach me to walk with the lightness of someone who knows they're not alone in this journey. When you pray with genuine surrender, not as religious protocol, but as real delivery, something changes in your life's atmosphere going far beyond what words can describe. It's as if an invisible weight is removed from your shoulders and replaced by peace, not depending on circumstances to exist. The faith born from this type of prayer is what produces the most extraordinary miracles. And there's a specific promise in God's word serving as anchor for everything you're believing and hoping. And it's exactly this we're going to see now. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 is one of the Bible's best known verses. But knowing a verse and letting it truly land in your heart are two completely different experiences. This isn't decorative verse to put in pretty frame. It's God's direct declaration about your specific life, pronounced over you today, now, regardless of how your circumstances are presenting themselves at the moment. The context in which this verse was written makes it even more powerful. Jeremiah wasn't writing to people at their peak, celebrating victories and living their best days. He was writing to a people in exile, distant from everything they knew, in a situation seeming hopeless and without improvement perspective. And it was exactly to these people, at rock bottom, that God declared having plans for prosperity, hope, and future. If he said this to those in exile, imagine what he has reserved for you, who got here with enough faith to keep seeking. The transformation Jeremiah 29 verse 11 produces in the life of those who truly believe it goes beyond emotional hope. It recalibrates how you interpret each situation, each delay, and each closed door. When you know there's a specific and good plan for your life, obstacles stop seeming like threats and start seeming like part of the process. You're lucky not because you'll escape all challenges, but because you have guarantee all challenges are being used in your favor by someone who knows the end from the beginning. And now that you have this firm anchor, it's time to talk about what you'll do with everything you heard here. You got here, and this already proves something about who you are and about the level of faith existing inside you, even if sometimes you yourself doubt it. But now comes the part separating those who hear from those who transform. What will you do with everything you received in this message? Transformation doesn't happen at the moment you hear a powerful truth. It happens at the moment you decide to act on this truth, even if the first step is small, imperfect, and uncertain. The miracles you're waiting for are on the other side of a decision only you can make. Don't ignore this moment thinking you'll come back to it later, because later has a cruel way of never arriving. The chosen one who acts with faith now, even without seeing complete result, is exercising exactly the spiritual muscle God uses to move the greatest transformations. Start today with something concrete. Pray out loud, declaring Jeremiah 29 verse 11 over your life. Write on paper 3 things you're lucky for even in the middle of waiting, or simply make a decision you've been postponing out of fear. Each step of faith activates what was awaiting your movement to manifest. Being lucky isn't a passive condition. It's active posture of someone who decided to walk with God regardless of what the path presents. And you, who stayed until here, already demonstrated you have what's necessary to live this posture every day. The faith that brought you to this moment is the same that will take you to miracles still to come. And they're coming, closer than you imagine, prepared for a person who proved they don't give up. The next step is yours, and all of heaven is rooting for you to take it. You reach the end, and this isn't small detail. In a world of fragmented attention, of 1,000 distractions competing for the same second, you stayed. You listened. You got here. And now, before closing this video and returning to your life, let me ask you some questions deserving honest answer. What will you do differently starting today with everything you heard here? Will you keep measuring your luck by what hasn't arrived yet? Or will you start seeing miracles already happening around you? Will you keep waiting for the perfect moment to act with faith? Or will you take the first step now, imperfect and courageous? You learned you didn't get here by accident. Your presence was divine and intentional act. You learned the luckiest person on earth is the one who walks with God, and you fit perfectly into this description. You learned God sees your suffering, knows your silent prayers, and is working behind the scenes of your life in ways you still can't see completely. You learned doors and miracles are being prepared, that delays aren't denials, and that Jeremiah 29 verse 11 is a real and living promise pronounced specifically over your story. And you learn transformation doesn't begin when circumstances change. It begins when you decide to act with faith in the middle of them. Don't let this message be just another video passing through your screen without leaving real mark. Choose one concrete thing today. Declare Jeremiah 29 verse 11 out loud over your life. Write 3 reasons you're lucky even in waiting, or pray with genuine surrender before sleeping. Any step of faith taken now activates what was awaiting your movement to manifest. If this message touched your heart, help me take it to more people. Subscribe to the channel, activate notification bells to not miss any content, and tell me here in comments what city you're watching this video from. I want to know where this word is reaching, because each chosen one who finds this message and acts on it matters. May God bless you, surprise you with miracles you haven't asked for yet, and remind you every day you're the luckiest person on earth.